Welcome back to ReZero Anime Review episode number 10. Now you're probably thinking, is this your last video before the series goes on hiatus until the season 2 comes out? Well, no, because I actually have one more video I'm going to do. This one reviewing the second OVA for the series. Now, you probably are thinking in comments below like, wait, why are you reviewing the second one for? I thought it was only just one. Well, I thought so too. Wikipedia actually didn't put this one up there for some reason. Probably because it was recently released as about 6 months ago. Yeah, it came out 6 months ago. This is a prequel story called Frozen Bond. This is pretty much what Amelia and Puck were up to prior to the events of the series. This OVA shows how they first met, and in case you're wondering, did Amelia have the outfit that she wears in the series? Did she have that at the start? Did she wear that in this flashback? No, she wears a different outfit and looks like she lives in a tree. Well, basically like a hollowed out tree. That's pretty much where she lives. Yep. And apparently she doesn't know she's a half elf. She knows she's an elf, but she does not know she's a half elf. Oh, and how in the world that Puck and Amelia first met is that he unfroze. Oh yeah, apparently Amelia, when she was unfrozen, she was completely naked. Why in the world this is, I have no idea. Because Amelia is one of those characters, they haven't really delved into her backstory very much. This is kind of basically an adventure for her and Puck. Puck is there, but here's the interesting thing about Puck and Amelia's relationship at this point. Puck is not under contract under Amelia yet. He's with her a lot of the time, and he basically has the same type of relationship he does currently. The father and daughter relationship. He occasionally calls her, well, not here per se, not to the very end, but he calls her my daughter. Yeah, and Amelia apparently was trading with a nearby village for food. And it was going perfectly fine, despite that people were afraid of her because, oh yeah, in case you're wondering, is basically people still accusing her of being the Witch of Lust. Yes, they still are. Despite the fact she's the appearance as her, she's not the Witch of Lust. Though they call it in the sub, they call it Witch of Envy, but basically it's Witch of Lust. They call it Witch of Lust in the light novel, and the manga, yeah, even the English dub they refer to her as the Witch of Lust, but in the sub, it's the Witch of Envy. Yeah, after like one visit to the village, she goes back home and she's confronted by about 5 guys who want to capture her. Well, capture the creature's village and have to get past her. And she takes them on briefly. And all of a sudden this creature shows up. Yeah, this is a simple creature she fought at the beginning. And this creature tears up the guys. She ends up nearly freezing them. And lucky enough, like, someone help me. And it's when Puck shows up and saves her. Yes. Like, could you please come by my name, please? Yeah. So takes care of the icicles, and they technically the group that survived except for like one guy. They never see her again, though the leader of the group does talk to his boss, and apparently Puck decided to show up and pay a visit. They leave her alone, and then apparently the guy comes in contact with some other spirit and sort of bonds with him, becomes the creature itself. Yeah. As for Amelia, she goes to confront I would say this is the merchant she's been trading with, and she's like, "Did you tell? Were you the one who told him where I was?" Says yes. Did anyone in the village was harmed? No, they never came back here. And she basically tells him, "Stay out of the forest. It's my garden." And that's lastly the village. Yeah, the village basically that appears in this particular OVA only appears for a couple of brief scenes. You don't see much of it at all. You see like a few people there, but that's basically it. Oh, in case you're wondering how long this OVA is, this is the length of an actual movie. This is roughly an hour and 16 minutes. Though here's the thing, the end credits actually start an hour and 13 minutes into the movie. Yeah, when the movie's got about 3 minutes, that's when the credits show up, and then after like 2 minutes of credits, we have the post-credit scene, which I'll get to that. Yeah, Puck has a couple of encounters with this fiery demon horse, which also can melt ice, and when it leaves, it basically returns back normal. After talking to her briefly, also whenever this horse talks, he talks kind of slowly, he keeps pausing after every other word, which I'm like, That's kind of weird. Which kind of reminds me of Crotus from Overlord. Yeah, he does the same thing, though. He talks like pretty much the same way. Though I'm sure if they did an English dub of this, yeah, in case you're wondering, this is not dubbed. As far as I can tell, it's not dubbed because I haven't found English dub. Yeah. Though, I should point out that before I continue, I was watching this on the Crunchyroll website a lot like I did with the ReZero Season 1 and the 2 short series. This series, this particular movie, I was watching on there, and then for some reason, after watching it for about like 30 minutes in, the site freezes for some reason. Yes. For some reason, the site keeps freezing on this particular OVA. Yeah, I have no idea why. Oh, I forgot to mention. This OVA was actually released in November of 2018. So, I thought the OVA, the memory stuff of that was the most recent thing they came out with. Nope, it was this particular one. But I decided to view this mainly because of the prequel story. That's the only reason why. And after dealing with the villagers, and then she comes across this black stuff that eats up a creature. Then she frees things to these minor spirits that she was suggested to make contracts with, thanks to Puck. Though when she confronts, then she sees this red creature, this red ball. She sees this red ball a couple times in the OVA. Second time she actually follows it while basically worrying about Puck. Oh yeah, she's actually snowboarding at this ice giant door handle. That's what it looks like. Where she got this thing, I have no idea. And also, when in the world she started living in this tree? My guess is Puck must have did that, but the OVA doesn't really explain that at all. Not that I can tell, no. Oh, and she also wears this green coat. Yes, despite the fact also, she starts out, when she first see her, she's barefoot. And then she puts on her shoes, and it's very worn out shoes. And then when she goes to the village, she basically trades her old shoes for a new pair of shoes. Yeah, don't worry, she gets a much better shoes when she works for Roswell. By the way, Roswell himself does show up to the very end. I'll get to that. So, and then basically when she's talking and she confronts the fire horse, who turns out to be the guy from earlier, who also he was possessing his body, and then Puck decides on the spot to make a contract with Amelia, and then of course that Puck when she saw Puck, she actually finally called by his name. And they fought briefly, though the guy basically just accepted it. Apparently he's an arbitrator. And then, of course, after she asked him, after it's can I go get Leah? She said, yes. After the fight, basically, that's when they start calling her Leah, like she is currently. And the fact that she also admits she loves him like a father, which he appreciates that. And, well, nice ending to the OVA. And then we have a post-credits scene with Amelia in sort of present day. I'm not really sure where this post-credits scene takes place in the series, but my guess is probably, and this is my personal guess, maybe at some point in the series. I have no idea. Maybe before the Royal Capital arc. That's my possibility. I have no idea when. We have her just basically hang outside with Puck, and then we see Subaru, Ram, and Ram making an ice sculpture. And then Roswell shows up, because they apparently had to make this early in the morning. Apparently breakfast isn't ready yet, so they had to go make breakfast. And we see this is kind of a nod to the elves who were frozen. And, well, that's pretty much it. Very good OVA. Interesting story. Though this one's, I looked up in line, this is actually a short story. A limited release short story. Which I'm like, that's interesting. Yeah, apparently apparently people who get the short story, they have to pay 30,000 yen worth of material of stuff for the ReZero series to get this particular prequel story. Yeah, apparently there's a whole bunch of these prequel stories. And no, I've never read any of them at all. I don't know if there's a special book that collects these short stories, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is one. Yeah, but this really, really good. I don't know how faithful it is to the original short story because I haven't read it. But this was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Though, I do have a slight problem with it. Okay, now we do show the meeting of Puck and Amelia. We have her basically, her forming the contract with Puck. That'll happen a little bit later. There's a couple things, basically, I think this OVA was missing. Like, for instance, her meeting Roswell, Rem, and Ram. That actually is not shown here, surprisingly. Yeah, I have no idea why. It's quite strange. I'm like, I would have thought that they would have had that here, but no, they don't have it here. They just jump ahead sometime later with him or her already working for her, and Subaru is already there. Now, it's already been shown in the series when she first met Subaru. That was back in book 1 of the series. But here's kind of the thing: when in the world, when at what point did she meet Roswell and his maids? Because and when she started living in the mansion, yeah, that's not explained here. Maybe that happened after this particular encounter. It's possible. But that's the one thing I kind of felt this out that was missing here. I mean, I love the fact we kind of had a chance to explore the relationship between Puck and Amelia, which I thought was fantastic. I thought that was handled really well here. The only slight weakness, the only thing I don't like about aside from the whole not meeting Roswell, is the characters who appeared in this particular OVA. They are very weak characters. They're barely developed, and they're completely forgotten about as soon as this OVA is finished. Yeah. But it is a good story overall. It's just that the biggest problem with the story is there's like, aside from Amelia and Puck, there is like, in the main story, there are no other familiar characters. Roswell doesn't show up until the very end of Ram and Ram. Subaru makes sense, not show up until later, but why not show Roswell, Ram and Ram? That's something I basically do not know when in the world they first met. Maybe there's a prequel story that does explain that, but I would have thought that they would squeeze in here, but nope, they didn't. They probably just basically straight up adapted just one short story. I don't know how long the short story is, but yeah, I'm sure it's probably as good as this. Who knows? Okay, so that's it for this particular review. My next review will be a review on for this particular that will be my last one for now. That will be Mary Snow. But my next video will be a review of the newest chapter of Black Clover. Yeah, there's a reason for that. No new episode, as far as I know. No, as far as I can tell, I don't think there is. Yeah. Yeah, I don't believe there is a new episode. Because it hasn't been released in a couple weeks. I think the series is still in hiatus. As for when the series can come back, I have no idea. But I'll look it up later. Okay? So yeah, that's it for this particular review. My next review on the newest chapter for Black Clover. Okay? See you next video. Bye.